Παρακαλούμε για την προσοχή σας. Θα πραγματοποιηθεί παρουσίαση των εξόδων κινδύνου της αίθουσας της εκδήλωσης. Παρακαλούμε, ενεργοποιήστε την αθόρυβη λειτουργία στα κινητά σας τηλέφωνα. Η παρουσίαση θα γίνει στα ελληνικά και στα αγγλικά.
Your attention, please. The event will begin shortly. We kindly ask you to mute your mobile phones and take your seats. A short presentation of the emergency exits of the event hall will now follow. The presentation will be in both Greek and English.
Κυρίες, κύριοι, αξιότιμοι καλεσμένοι, ο ΤΑΠ σας καλωσορίζει στην εκδήλωση εγγενείων του έργου μας και σε συνεργασία με τη διοίκηση του ξενοδοχείου θα θέλαμε να σας ενημερώσουμε σύντομα για τη διαδικασία εκένωσης της αίθουσας στην οποία βρισκόμαστε, σε περίπτωση που παραστεί ανάγκη. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, TAP welcomes you to our project inauguration ceremony, and along with hotel management, we would like to brief you about the evacuation procedure for any potential situations like fire. Όπως έχουμε ενημερωθεί σήμερα, δεν υπάρχει πρόγραμμα δοκιμής του συναγερμού του ξενοδοχείου. Συνεπώς, στην περίπτωση που ακούσετε κάποιο συναγερμό, σιρήνα, μαζί με ένα ηχητικό μήνυμα το οποίο έρχεται από το σύστημα ανακοινώσεων του ξενοδοχείου, οι καλεσμένοι θα πρέπει να προχωρήσουν χωρίς πανικό και με ηρεμία προς τις καθορισμένες εξόδους κινδύνου, οι οποίες φαίνονται και στην οθόνη σας, αριστερά και δεξιά και στην πίσω πλευρά, όπου θα υπάρχει και προσωπικό του ξενοδοχείου για να διευκολύνει την έξοδο. No alarm test is scheduled today, so in case the fire alarm goes off, followed by a recorded message calling for evacuation, then all our guests should proceed without panic to the designated emergency exit of the room, which are shown on the display screen, left, right, and at the back side of this room. Το προσωπικό του ξενοδοχείου θα διευκολύνει την έξοδο από την αίθουσα και την προσέλευση στον εξωτερικό σταθμό συγκέντρωσης, ο οποίος είναι ο υπαίθριος χώρος στάθμευσης στην αριστερή πλευρά της πρόσωψης του ξενοδοχείου, όπως κοιτάμε το ξενοδοχείο. Σε όλη τη διαδικασία εκένωσης δεν πρέπει να χρησιμοποιηθούν τα ασανσέρ. Hotel staff will facilitate the evacuation process and will guide you to the assembly point, which is located in the open parking space on your right-hand side as you stand outside the main entrance of the hotel, facing the port area. Throughout the evacuation, the use of elevators is not allowed. Thank you very much.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον κύριο Ian Bradshaw, Διευθύνοντα Σύμβουλο του TAP.
Please welcome on stage Mr. Ian Bradshaw, Managing Director of TAP.
Your Excellencies, Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take you on a journey into the future. It's the year 2020. Pipes have been laid throughout our route in Greece, Albania, and the Adriatic Sea, and Italy. Millions of safe working hours have been put into our project, and Caspian gas starts to flow through TAP, bringing a new source of gas to millions of European consumers. At TAP, we believe the best way to predict the future is to create it, which brings us to today, the beginning of our exciting construction journey. Today's ceremony marks a historic milestone for TAP, our shareholders, and the energy landscape of Europe. It's a celebration of Europe's core energy policy objectives. TAP will help integrate and diversify Europe's natural gas supply, adding to Europe's energy security. It's a celebration of the strong support and cooperation we've received from the governments of Greece, Albania, and Italy, the European Union, the United States, countries along the Southern Gas Corridor, as well as our shareholder home governments. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to His Excellency Prime Minister Tsipras and the Greek authorities for supporting us at such an important occasion. It's also a celebration of our network of business partners. TAP has contracted highly experienced companies for the onshore and offshore construction, as well as the provision of pipeline equipment. It's a celebration of our shareholders' commitment to the project, but also of TAP's commitment to our shareholders to deliver the project safely, on schedule, and on budget. And finally, it's a celebration of the work of TAP staff and personnel involved firsthand in construction activities. Our attention to TAP's safety objective is key to delivering the project successfully. I want to stress that TAP will employ the highest technical, environmental, health and safety industry standards during the construction and the operation of the pipeline. I'd like to finish with a few words about the wider benefits that TAP brings. Beyond boosting our host country's gas transportation infrastructure, TAP will facilitate opportunities for the gasification of the wider South-East Europe region. TAP remains a responsible corporate citizen. We are committed to generating sustainable improvements in the quality of life of the communities along our route. We will continue to promote job creation. TAP's implementation will inject billions of euros of direct foreign investment, leading to the creation of thousands of direct and indirect jobs. In turn, this will provide a positive signal for other foreign direct investors. Ladies and gentlemen, act quickly, think slowly, says a Greek proverb. The many years of planning have come to fruition as we start to lay steel pipe in the ground this summer. Benefiting from the strong endorsement of all parties present here today and many others, TAP will continue to progress, delivering a modern, safe and robust pipeline ready to transport new Caspian gas supplies to Europe from 2020. Thank you.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον Πρωθυπουργό της Ελληνικής Δημοκρατίας, κύριο Αλέξη Τσίπρα.
Please welcome on stage Prime Minister of the Hellenic Republic, Mr. Alexis Tsipras.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dear friends, I would like to welcome warmly all the foreign leaders, top officials, the representatives of governments that are here present today. And of course, I would like to thank the joint venture TAP for organizing this event in such an excellent way. The launch of the construction works of the Trans-Adriatic pipeline, that is TAP, is taking place at a very crucial moment for the Greek economy and the broader area. With regard to the Greek economy, today's inauguration coincides with the successful completion of the first evaluation and the rapid recovery of growth for Greece. And all this takes place here in Thessaloniki, a city, a very important port of the Balkans and the Mediterranean, a city that is regaining very fast its leading role as a hub of development in the Balkans and the Mediterranean. As for the broader area, the inauguration of TAP is taking place at a very crucial, very critical phase. Our countries, the countries from the Caucasus to the central Mediterranean that link Asia to Europe, are called upon to support peace, stability, regional cooperation in a broader area of crises and emerging challenges. Crises and conflicts at the northern part, around the Black Sea, but also in the southern part of this area, that is in the Middle East and in Northern Africa. And challenges facing these same countries in the field of economy, in the management of immigration flows, and in the field of safety. So in this context, the TAP pipeline that will open up the very important Southern Gas Corridor, which has a total length of 3,500 kilometers, is an attempt of regional cooperation, not only of big economical, but also big geostrategic importance. Now, in the economic field, ensuring energy supplies of Europe and ensuring the diversification of the supply sources and the routes of natural gas constitute a founding stone of the energy strategy of the country and the broader European planification. With regard to the geostrategic aspect, this project can make sure that energy will become a cooperation and prosperity bridge for everyone in the region, and not a springboard for exclusions and crises and conflicts. The pipeline, in its initial phase, will have an annual capacity of 10 billion cubic meters of natural gas from Azerbaijan. This capacity is sufficient to satisfy the needs of 7 million households in Europe. In the future, the carrying capacity can expand to over 20 billion cubic meters, thus allowing the transfer of additional quantities of energy from the broader area. At the same time, TAP will have the possibility of natural reverse flow. In other words, it will supply gas from Italy to southeastern Europe if this is necessary. Therefore, it is rightly considered as one of the most important projects at international level in the field of energy. Along its route, TAP can be interconnected with existing or future pipelines, thus guaranteeing that the Southern Gas Corridor will be closer to more energy markets. Such an example is the Greek-Bulgarian interconnector, the so-called IGB, which is being planned. And this project has a very important role in the energy planification of our country because it can serve as a bridge for the transportation of natural gas towards the countries of Southeastern Europe and Central Europe. So on the basis of this context, Greece moves towards the construction of a multifaceted energy policy through the reinforcement of international cooperations and the implementation of projects that upgrade the geopolitical and development possibilities of Greece. The energy map of Southeastern Europe is being transformed, and Greece is becoming an energy hub in the region. Such projects as TAP and IGB pipelines, in combination with the planified cooperation of the floating terminal for the storage and regasification of LNG in Alexandroupoli, and also the projects aiming at upgrading the LNG terminal in Ervithousa, not only constitute exceptional energy projects, but at the same time, they constitute structural components of the desired productive reconstruction of the country. With a budget that is over 1.5 billion euros, TAP is one of the largest direct foreign investments in Greece. And it's for the first time that Greece is on the map of the pipelines in terms of construction and not just planification. The employment that will stem from the implementation of the project will be over 8,000 direct and indirect job positions that are so well needed in the country. What is most important is the participation of Greek companies and the heavy industry of our country, both in the construction field of the pipeline and the construction of the compression terminals, and also in the supply of the materials for the land parts of the pipelines that will be constructed in Greece. 270,000 tons with a total length of 500 kilometers have been contracted with Greek companies. The Greek industries of the region will benefit from the reduction of the energy costs, and new companies will seize the opportunities for range economies that will come up. So a number of technical professions will be able to benefit, and there will be important benefits also for the households and the final consumers of natural gas. Moreover, alongside the construction of the pipeline, there will be another project of corporate social responsibility of 32 million euros, which will be part of the compensation benefits towards the local societies. The initial planning of the project concerned 11 million euros, but this amount increased significantly. And at the same time, in order to minimize the environmental and social impact of the project, we have taken all the necessary measures in order to protect the environment to the greatest extent in compliance with the most strict requirements. And as I mentioned in the beginning of my presentation, the successful completion of the first evaluation project the Greek economy is going through, and of course the This is the most crucial moment for us, and we have a prospect of development ahead. So the completion of the evaluation lifts the uncertainty with regard to the Greek economy and creates a stable environment for the massive attraction of productive investments in Greece. And of course, all this in line with the agreement of August, without additional measures. We are about to complete the evaluation by keeping the economy at a stable point. In the second semester of the city, right after the evaluation, we will have positive development rates. And we will have 5.5 billion euros for the obligations of the public sector that will be very important for the market. The unemployment is going down, and the income of the budget had very good results. The interventions that were implemented, such as the development law that will be voted in early June, as well as the alternative financial tools or the participation in different programs, will help Greece to recover. And for the first time after 6 years, Greece will go back to a track of development. At the same time, the agreement with regard to the Greek debt that will be ratified next week by the Eurogroup provides a reduction of the expenses that are related to the service of the Greek debt. And thus, more resources will be available for investments and for employment. And of course, this will be important for another reason, because once we solve the debt problem, there will no longer be instability and uncertainty. And this will allow the Greek economy to show its productive potential. This, of course, goes hand in hand with the completion of the fiscal adjustment program. And as a result, the markets will regain trust, thus helping the Greek state to move out of the memorandum area. This is the new era. This is the new era in which Greece is coming, and Europe as well. This is the era that is marked with the inauguration of the TAP. And that is why the inauguration of TAP, which coincides with good news for Greece, we have therefore two reasons to be glad and optimistic about a better future. So I wish to thank you all for being here. I wish to thank the organizers of the event and wish great success to a pipeline that will bring our countries and our people in a greatly affected area, which needs development, peace, stability, progress. So this pipeline will bring our people and our countries together in an era of prosperity, cooperation, and progress, and in an era of economic growth, always based on a social reality. Thank you very much.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον Πρωθυπουργό της Γεωργίας, κύριο Γεώργη Κυρικασβίλη.
Please welcome on stage the Prime Minister of Georgia, Mr. Georgi Kyrikasvili.
Dear Prime Minister, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great day today as we are inaugurating an important part of one of the largest and most complex projects in the history of energy industry. I would like to commend all participating countries for the active support to the realization of these historic projects. The fact that we are gathered in Thessaloniki is quite symbolic, as this metropolis has been at the crossroads of different ethnicities, cultures, ideas for centuries, and a multidimensional and flourishing place with strong transit status. Georgia shares the same role and history. We are proud to be a reliable part of the transit corridor. Thanks to geographical location, Georgia is at the heart of intertwined interests of gas suppliers and consumers, and therefore an integral part of the Southern Corridor. Over the past years, the first initial steps for the success of Southern Corridor were made when Georgia and Azerbaijan, together with Turkey and with the help of Western allies, have successfully built strategic partnerships and developed mutually beneficial cooperation in the field of energy. Energy projects such as South Caucasus gas pipeline, Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan, and Baku-Tbilisi-Supsa oil pipelines are the success stories of this cooperation. The realization of these projects illustrates that energy has become a cornerstone and the opportunity for all stakeholders in the region to enhance economic growth and security. Just to provide you with one figure, around 30,000 additional jobs will be created in the participating countries from this project. Currently, all export volumes of gas from the Caspian region are transported through South Caucasus gas pipeline passing the territory of Georgia. After launching the Shah Deniz 2 operations, expected in 2019, increased supply volumes will be transported through South Caucasus pipeline expansion project. Along its route, TAP can facilitate connections to a number of existing and proposed pipelines, ensuring that the Southern Gas Corridor opens up to many different energy markets. This will enable the delivery of Caspian gas to destinations throughout Southeastern, Central, and Western Europe. At the same time, it will be a good precondition for expanding Southern Gas Corridor even further and attach natural gas resources of Turkmenistan and other suppliers in the region in future. In this respect, we hope that the process developed after the sign of Ashgabat Declaration in May 2015 will expand the Southern Gas Corridor, and Georgia will support this process through participating in the working group meetings dedicated to develop Trans-Caspian pipeline. In the end, Georgia as a transit country reiterates its commitments to the diversification of the energy supply to Europe and expresses its support to existing and future energy projects connected to the Southern Gas Corridor. At the end, let me thank organizers of this event for this wonderful event, and let me thank Prime Minister, you personally, for your hospitality. Thank you very much.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον πρώτο αντιπρόεδρο της κυβέρνησης της Δημοκρατίας του Αζερμπαϊτζάν, κύριο Γιακούμπ Εγιούμποφ.
Please welcome on stage the first Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mr. Yakubu Eyüpov.
Zat əlləri Yunanistan Respublikasının baş naziri hörmətli zat əlləri, hörmətli Trans-Adriatik boru kəməri layihəsinin səhmdarları və rəhbərliyi, hörmətli xanımlar və cənablar. Trans-Adriatik boru kəmərinin təntənəli açılış mərasimində iştirak etməkdən ötürü Yunanistan Respublikasının hökuməti, Cənubi qaz dəhlizi ölkələrinin hökumət nümayəndələri və Avropa Komisiyanın vitse-prezidentinə qoşulmaq üçün bugün burada olmağımdan şərəf duyuram. Cənubi qaz dəhlizinin rolu nəinki alternativ nəqliyyat infrastrukturu, hətta alternativ enerji mənbəyi qismində xidmət etməkdən ibarətdir ki, bu da Avropa ölkələrinin, xüsusilə də Cənubi Şərqi Avropadakı ölkələrinin öz bazarları üçün təchizat mənbələrini diversifikasiya etmək və onları enerji təhlükəsizliyini gücləndirmək niyyətlərini əhəmiyyətli dəstək vermiş olardı. 10 il bundan
The
əvvəl
role of the South Gazprom corridor is not only to serve as an alternative transportation infrastructure, but also as an alternative source
hamımız birlikdə Xəzər və Adriatik dəniz
an alternative source of energy which could significantly support the intention of the European countries, specifically in the Southeast Europe, to diversify supply sources for their markets and increase their energy security.
1,2 trilyon kubmetr
10 years ago, the Azerbaijan established an energy corridor from the Caspian Sea to the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. Now we are all together committed to construct a gas bridge between Caspian and Adriatic seas and beyond. The original source for the Southern Gas Corridor will be gas from giant Shah Deniz field, which has more than 1.2 trillion cubic meters of gas of proven reserves.
layihə digər mövcud olan təchizat
However, the Southern Gas Corridor is a new energy paradigm and opportunity that can facilitate delivery of increased volumes of gas from different sources, not only from other fields in Azerbaijan, but from Central Asia, Iraq, and the Eastern Mediterranean. I would like to specifically state that it is not competing with existing suppliers, but rather serves as an alternative option which creates opportunities for delivering new volumes via a new route. In order to provide a regular update on the project's progress and ensure close coordination among all stakeholders and along the entire value chain, the Advisory Council of the Southern Gas Corridor was established in 2015 by the initiative of the President of Azerbaijan,
çərçivəsində bugünədək
Mr. Ilham Aliyev, and the Vice President of the European Commission, Maros Šefčovič. This is a unique format where all the members of the Southern Gas Corridor, European Commission, United States, and financial institutions get together to review what has been done so far and to identify urgent issues to be expeditiously addressed and resolved jointly in the most practical way. The second ministerial meeting of the Advisory Council was held in February this year in Baku, and we are very glad that new countries from the Southeast Europe, in particular Montenegro and Croatia, have also participated.
Cənubi qaz dəhlizi hətta özünün birinci mərhələsində
The Southern Gas Corridor, even at its first stage, is linking a number of markets in Europe that have not been linked before, such as Greece, Albania, and Italy.
Avropada Yunanistan, Bolqarıstan birləşici boru kəməri kimi
We are confident that the project will be followed by additional gas interconnectors in Europe, such as Interconnector Greece-Bulgaria, which will become an important part of the Southern Gas Corridor. One spur of the Southern Gas Corridor that seems to be gathering significant political support is the implementation of the Ionian Adriatic pipeline, which would extend the edges of the Southern Gas Corridor deeper into the Balkans
çıxışa ehtiyacı olan regionun
to new countries of the region which need urgent access to alternative, sustainable, and affordable energy. Once again, I would like to thank the government of Greece for inviting us to participate in today's ceremony. I congratulate all the participants with this strategic milestone in the Southern Gas Corridor project and express my confidence that as a result of our joint efforts, the construction work will be completed within the planned schedule and first molecules of gas from Azerbaijan will reach the borders of the European Union in 2020.
bütün bugün bu tədbirdə iştirak edən həmkarlarımıza Azərbaycan hökuməti adından dərin təşəkkürümü bildirirəm.
Thank you very much.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον Αντιπρόεδρο της Κυβέρνησης της Δημοκρατίας της Αλβανίας, κύριο Νίκο Πελέση.
Please welcome on stage the Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Albania, Mr. Niko Peleshi.
Dear Prime Minister Tsipras, thank you for hosting us today in Thessaloniki. Dear Mr. Bradshaw, dear colleagues, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. Earlier in April, with the arrival of pipes, bends, and machineries, we marked the start of the most dynamic part of the TAP project in Albania. In the very first year of its work in Albania, TAP pipeline has managed to become a key partner of our government in our efforts for economic development, prosperity, employment, and inclusiveness. Before even starting the construction of pipeline itself, TAP has provided for tens of thousands of Albanians better conditions of living. Now we look forward to the starting of the construction of the Albanian section of the pipeline during the second half of this year. TAP is a major partner not only for Albania and our region, but for the future of Europe itself. Securing reliable energy at affordable prices is one of the biggest challenges of that EU currently faces. The political developments in energy exporting countries and the countries crossed by the energy corridors have the potential to shape in a long-lasting way the foreign policy of the European Union. The pipeline will contribute to further diversification of European energy supply sources and routes. Thus, TAP pipeline is not only about benefits, but also about taking the responsibility of being in the heart of energy arteries of our continent. Albania is convinced that by sharing the benefits of this project, TAP will enable a long-lasting peace and sustainable economic development for all the countries involved. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 years ago, Winston Churchill famously described the Balkans as a region able to produce more history than it could consume, plagued by the everlasting conflicts. This region has often been divided in the past, but European integration, and recently in the last years, the Berlin process, has been demonstrating strong political support for the European perspective of the Western Balkans. Indeed, this has also created a positive momentum for regional cooperation, helping our countries to achieve substantial progress in different areas, notably in connectivity. Regional integration through road corridors, gas pipelines, and expansion in the manufacturing sector remains in top of our common agenda. What we believe is that enhancing economic cooperation in our region is the foundation for sustainable growth and peace. Projects like the Blue Corridor, TAP and TIAP pipeline, to mention a few, have a great geostrategic importance, but more importantly, they bring our countries closer. We believe that IAP pipeline connecting Albania with Montenegro, Bosnia, and Croatia, as well as second extension connecting the main pipeline with Kosovo, should be implemented as soon as possible, ensuring finally cheap and reliable energy in the back door of the European Union. Industrial revolutions of the past happened each time there was a simultaneous technological breakthrough in the fields of energy, communication, and transport. In the last decades, we have made big steps forward in improving our communication and transportation networks. Through TAP pipeline and the energy it will provide, I'm sure we will complete the chain needed to redefine our limits. Thank you very much.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον Αντιπρόεδρο της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής, αρμόδιο για θέματα ενέργειας, κύριο Μάρος Σεφκοβιτς.
Please welcome on stage the Vice President of the European Commission for Energy Union, Mr. Maros Šefčovič.
Αξιότιμε Πρωθυπουργέ κύριε Τσίπρα, distinguished prime ministers, ministers, excellencies, Kyrie και κύριοι, με μεγάλη χαρά βρίσκομαι εδώ.
It is a great joy for me to be here in Thessaloniki with you.
Είναι μια ιστορική
Today is a historical day.
And for those of you who didn't understand, I just say that today it's truly historic day. And I really mean it because the Southern Gas Corridor is the biggest construction project of our time. The transatlantic pipeline is an important part of this project, and today we see it here in Thessaloniki, built on Greek, on European soil. And as you know very well, this didn't happen just by itself. It's a result of tremendous work of all the governments of the route of this pipeline, of all the companies of the TAP, TANAP, and other consortium. And therefore, I'm very glad to say that the realization of the Southern Gas Corridor will be a turning point from the centralized markets with the single dominant suppliers to mixed and diverse energy markets, from a world where each country had its own energy plans into the coherent regional strategy where countries cooperate together along common interests. From assumption that the Caspian Sea is too far away from European market to creating an integrated energy infrastructure linking the Caspian resources to European consumers. Today's ceremony is the living proof that this is technically possible, that it's economically viable, and that it's politically beneficial for all parties involved. Ladies and gentlemen, the energy diversification, it's not a matter of symbolism. It's about competitiveness, which will create better services and lower prices. It's about stronger energy security and less precarity. It's about solidarity and support among neighboring countries, and none of these can be overestimated. Energy diversification is therefore also at the cornerstone of the European energy security strategy, which we published already in 2014, and the security of supply legislative package, which we proposed 3 months ago. And given the benefits of the corridor to the European market, the Commission has listed all segments of the corridor in its list of projects of the common interest. That includes Trans-Adriatic, Trans-Anatolian pipelines across Turkey, South Caucasus pipeline, and its expansion. TAP has also been identified as one of the key priority projects for the success of Central and Southeastern gas connectivity, so-called KESEK initiative. I'm so happy to see so many representatives of these countries here today with us at the ceremony. The phase, which starts today, should be concluded fairly soon. By 2020, we expect to see gas flowing into Europe. And this will be the conclusion, this will be the conclusion of this phase, but not the end. Because once the route and the overall framework are tested, it will be easier to expand the Southern Gas Corridor beyond initial volumes of 10 billion cubic meters a year. I can already confirm our interest in scaling up the Southern Gas Corridor swiftly, including with more gas originating from the Caspian and possibly Central Asian region. In this context, it is important to recall Ashgabat Declaration signed with Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey in May last year. Ladies and gentlemen, it was very important for me to be here personally and to congratulate you on such an important day, because I would encourage all of us to continue in the same pace in which we've been seeing each other lately. Each time at the major milestone. Last March, we met for the groundbreaking ceremony for TANAP in Kars. 2 months ago, at the Southern Gas Corridor Advisory Council in Baku. And today, we are here in Thessaloniki. So I dare to say that we are definitely on the right track. Imaste se kalo dromo sas echaristopoli. Thank you very much.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον Αμερικανό ειδικό απεσταλμένο και συντονιστή σε θέματα διεθνούς ενέργειας, κύριο Άμος Χόκσταϊν, ο οποίος θα μεταφέρει μήνυμα του Υπουργού Εξωτερικών των Ηνωμένων Πολιτειών, κύριου Τζον Κέρι.
Please welcome on stage the U.S. Special Envoy and Coordinator for International Energy Affairs, Mr. Amos Hochstein, who will convey a message from the US Secretary of State, Mr. John Kerry.
Thank you, Prime Minister Tsipras, for hosting us all today here and for your leadership and dedication that has led us to this point. This is an important event, and all the work that you and your Trans-Adriatic pipeline partners, Albania and Italy, as well as the other participants along the route, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Turkey, for all of you have done to make this pipeline and the larger Southern Corridor project advance from an idea to actual construction. Your efforts alongside company shareholders have shown true commitment to energy diversification in Europe. Just 2 weeks ago, my good friend Mara Šefčovič and I participated in the US-EU Energy Council in Washington with Secretary of State John Kerry and High Representative Mogherini. At that meeting, we all agreed that completing the Southern Gas Corridor must continue to be a top priority as we seek to achieve true diversification and energy security throughout Europe. TAP represents the last essential piece in the Southern Gas Corridor, and the United States has supported this project from its inception. We are not a route country, as you know. But because it provides new hope and opportunity for stability and prosperity in every country along the route and throughout the region that it neighbors. I'm 3 for 3, so I'm proud to have been in all 3 groundbreaking ceremonies to date, in Azerbaijan, in Kars, and today here. The degree of commitment from our government to this project is unshakable. The Southern Gas Corridor represents more than the 10 BCM of gas from Azerbaijan to Europe. Together with Greece-Bulgaria interconnector, the IGB, as Prime Minister Tsipras mentioned earlier, this is what will make the difference throughout the region. It will also provide many more paths for new gas to reach Europe's market, including areas that are underserved or are victims to aggressive energy monopolies. That is why it is critically important that we move ahead not only with the Southern Gas Corridor, but with all the spurs and the interconnectors, such as the IGB, that were mentioned already today. TAP and the Southern Gas Corridor stand in direct contrast to other discussed projects who do not contribute to energy security of Europe. TAP does. Allow me, with your permission, to read out a note from Secretary of State John Kerry, who expresses his great regrets and sincere regrets for not being able to be here in person, despite caring about this project deeply. On behalf of the United States, I offer my heartfelt congratulations to the government of Greece, as well as the other partners in the Trans-Adriatic Pipeline Project Consortium on the occasion of the groundbreaking of this important pipeline. Today's groundbreaking is a major step toward completion of the Southern Gas Corridor, which will provide diversification of energy sources for both the region and Europe at large. As part of the Southern Gas Corridor, TAP will be a prime example of infrastructure that enhances European energy security. The United States will continue to provide unwavering support to this vital energy security project, and TAP, in tandem with other critical interconnector projects around the region, will bolster regional energy security and provide true diversification of gas supplies for the first time in the history of Southeastern Europe. I offer my sincere congratulations on a job well done. The United States will continue to stand by you and support your efforts to achieve energy security for your citizens and those across Europe. Sincerely, John F. Kerry, Secretary of State. Thank you.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον Υπουργό Ενέργειας της Δημοκρατίας της Τουρκίας, κύριο Berat Albayrak.
Please welcome on stage the Minister of Energy of the Republic of Turkey, Mr. Berat Albayrak.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I'm so glad to take part in this historic ceremony of Trans-Adriatic Pipeline Project today. We are witnessing how cooperation and collaboration among nations once again surpass the overriding concern of supply, security in Europe and the whole region. TAP has been an achievement together with TANAP, to bring more gas-to-gas competition in the region and enable of efficient and reliable markets. Energy landscape has changed dramatically in the last decade as renewable energy, emission reduction targets, energy efficiency, and various new technologies have diffused into it to transform the value chain. Energy is growth. Energy is development. And sustainable energy is sustainable humanity, and smart energy is smart society. The need for reliable and sustainable energy is even more indispensable in our globalized world, and interruptions less and less tolerable. Natural gas, as a leading source along with coal in the energy mix of the EU members, as well as the countries in the neighborhood, will continue to be the key determinant of energy security in the coming decades. Globalization speed and intensity continue to shape our policies and societies. Its territorial and temporal expansion allowed governance to substitute for conventional security understanding. Both the EU and its neighbors know very well. Interdependence is no more a challenge as long as dialogue, efficiency, and diplomacy can be enhanced by heeding the opportunities. Turkey, with its unique geography, competitive and mature energy markets, institutional experience, and solid historical and cultural ties in the region, presents such an opportunity to reduce these risks and achieve successful cooperation among the parties of this transnational value chain. With our dynamic economy, demography, and culture, Turkey stands as the node of the solidarity, abundance, diversity, dialogue, and strategic partnerships. TANAP and TAP, our scalable projects, will gradually increase to cover more demand, and allocation of their capacities is undertaken with a dynamic perspective. In today's gas market, innovations in technology and institutions have rendered long-term contracts outdated. National and transnational reach of physical and virtual trade of gas is expanding. Natural gas is to remain indispensable with its clean and increasingly competitive character. I fully believe that TANAP and TAP are only the beginning steps of building of a secure and peaceful transnational value chain, the glue of which is cooperation and collaboration for ever more competitive, dynamic, efficient, and of course, sustainable energy markets. Our societies cannot tolerate underinvestment neither in infrastructures nor in dialogue and strategic partnerships if we are to manage this energy transition in a secure, in a more innovative way. Before concluding my remarks, once again, on behalf of the Turkish government, I would like to emphasize that we will continue strongly to both TANAP and TAP. And we're ready to discuss all economically feasible projects to enhance our supply diversity and energy security. Your Excellencies, once again, I would like to thank all of the governments and private companies all professionals here, their strong support since from the beginning of this remarkable project. And once again, I would like to thank Mr. Prime Minister Tsipras for his beautiful hospitality, and thank you very much. Have a great day.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον Υπουργό Οικονομικής Ανάπτυξης της Ιταλικής Δημοκρατίας, κύριο Κάρολο Καλέντα.
Please welcome on stage the Minister for Economic Development of the Italian Republic, Mr. Carlo Calenda.
Prime Minister, distinguished colleagues, it's an honor for me to be here today. In Thessaloniki, we are laying down a milestone to the opening of the Southern Corridor. This inauguration ceremony is the celebration of the excellent work and relationship among all the countries involved in this crucial process that will allow Europe to be supplied by the Adriatic gas. Through the active role of the Italian government during these years in supporting the selection and implementation of TAP, a lot of progresses have been made in the opening of the Southern Corridor that is today a reality. By means of the infrastructure that already connect the Italian gas network with those of Central and Northern Europe, when upgraded, it will be possible to have a more integrated market with cross-border trade, thus optimizing the use of the pipeline network for the entire Balkan area, promoting also the development of networks and gas market in Southeast Europe. The regional role of the project is also fundamental for prospects of generating further enlargement of the network, which will benefit not only Croatia and Montenegro, united with Albania in the project of the Ionian Adriatic pipeline, but in perspective, all the countries of the Western Balkans, as well as Bulgaria, which is interested in the interconnector from Greece, IGB. At national level, as you well know, the Italian government is strongly involved in the implementation of TAP. The issue of the decree of the Ministry of Economic Development on May 2015, and the final construction and operations authorization for the TAP project, the work as scheduled, have started before May the 16th, which was the date. And let me add that for the first time, the Italian government used, in the case of TAP, a new law which allows strategic investment to move faster than in the past and to be able to achieve the results of the timeline. And we have done this, and we were able to do this because of the incredible high level of environmental prescription, environmental attention, and all the process of approaching the Puglia coast. I don't want to challenge the Greece island, but Puglia coast, which is considered to be one of the beauty of the world. But we are absolutely confident that the works will be done in order to preserve all the seaside and lands, and this has been fundamental for us in order to give the green light and use this extraordinary power, which is now a law. With regards to Snam Rete Gas, the Italian transmission system operator, I wish to express my satisfaction for the recent acquisition of 20% of the company TAP share, confirming also the interest of Italian stakeholders in the project. Snam Rete Gas launched the authorization procedure for the 60 kilometers pipeline that will connect the TAP landfall in Puglia to the national network. I would like to point out that thanks to the investment already ongoing by Snam Rete Gas, the Italian network by 2018 will be able to offer a continuous reverse flow capacity from south to north through Switzerland and Austria towards Central Europe for about 13 billion of cubic meters per year, contributing to increased liquidity and interconnection of gas markets with the additional possibility for the Azeri gas in the second phase of the development of the Caspian gas resources to easily reach and access the European Union market. The international situation is underlying how much the implementation of TAP project and the opening of the Southern Corridor is crucial. And I would like to finish making reference to this. There are today many projects on the table in the European Union. And we know that infrastructural and energy projects are not neutral, also from a geopolitical point of view. Now this, as far as I understand, as far as we understand, the one that match all the criteria. Other, unfortunately, not. Thank you very much.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα την Υπουργό Ενέργειας της Δημοκρατίας της Βουλγαρίας, κυρία Τεμενούσκα Πέτκοβα.
Please welcome on stage the Minister of Energy of the Republic of Bulgaria, Mrs. Temenuska Petkova.
Dear Prime Ministers, Deputy Prime Ministers, Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Bulgarian government, I would like to thank you for the invitation to participate in today's groundbreaking ceremony of the Trans-Adriatic pipeline. An integral part of the Southern Gas Corridor is also the project of the construction of the interconnector Greece-Bulgaria. In January 2014, a memorandum of understanding and cooperation was signed between ICGB and Trans-Adriatic Pipeline for coordination and integration of the two projects. One of the main priorities of the Bulgarian government is the diversification of sources and routes of natural gas supplies. Our country gives high priority to the realization, namely of the interconnector with Greece. The pipeline is designed with technical capacity of 3 to 5 BCM per year with the possibility of expansion, including over 10 BCM per year, subject to commercial interest and economic justification. With the signing of the final investment decision at the end of 2015, the shareholders in the project have proceeded toward real actions to build the interconnector. According to the roadmap for its implementation, commercial operations will begin in mid-2018. I take this opportunity to inform you that the first non-binding phase of the market test was successfully complete in April and resulted with full booking of the pipeline exceeding its capacity. Nine companies submitted non-binding offers for reservation of more than 4.3 BCM of natural gas per year. The second phase of the market test will start in June. We expected it to be completed successfully as well with the submission of binding offers. As a further option for diversification, the Bulgarian government also considers the opportunity to participate in the project for the construction of a LNG terminal near Alexandroupolis. For us, this project closely linked to the gas interconnector Greece-Bulgaria. As both are projects of common interest for the European Union, their implementation will ensure security and diversification of energy suppliers for the whole region of Southeast and Central Europe. Once again, thank you for the invitation. I wish success of TAP. Thank you.
Καλωσορίζουμε στο βήμα τον αναπληρωτή Υπουργό Ενέργειας της Ελβετικής Συνομοσπονδίας, κύριο Βόλτερ Στάινμαν.
Please welcome on stage the State Secretary of the Federal Office of Energy of the Swiss Confederation, Walter Steinmann.
Dear Prime Minister, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, ideas born in Switzerland, two pioneers flying around the world in a solar airplane. Bertrand Piccard and André Boschberg take this opportunity since 2015 Last week, they arrived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm sure that they will come in a few weeks over the Atlantic Ocean to Europe, bringing the spirit of innovation to Europe, and afterwards they will go back to Abu Dhabi, where they started. Solar Impulse, an idea born in Switzerland, an idea to promote clean technologies worldwide, the vision that we have in 50 or 100 years more and more renewable energies. TAP, the Trans-Adriatic Pipeline, is another idea born in Switzerland. More than 10 years ago, a small but innovative Swiss company called EGL searched new business opportunities in the gas sector. The team discussed projects to bring more gas to Europe and to diversify the supply chain with a new southeastern corridor, bringing Caspian gas to Europe. The idea was supported by the Swiss government. Our minister, Moritz Leuenberger, went first time in 2007 to Baku for first discussion rounds. Our ambassadors promoted afterwards the idea of TAP in the different European capitals, not forgetting the European Commission in Brussels and United States. TAP was during that time in a strong competition with other projects, but the idea, born in Switzerland, had compared to the alternatives advantages on the construction, on the cost and financial side. So TAP got more and more commercial partners from different countries, starting with Statoil, afterwards E.ON, afterwards the Chardonnay consortium with SOCAR, Total and BP, afterwards Fluxys, afterwards Snam and Enagas entered into the group. With that group, TAP was more and more established as a real European project. Also, on the political side, the project was supported by more and more governments. We started 10 years ago together with Norway. Today, we have here high representatives from 8 countries of Europe and also from the European Commission. TAP has a possibility to strengthen the European security of supply in the gas sector. TAP has also the chance to bring new business opportunities to the different actors in the field. TAP is a project for economic growth in Europe. TAP can also give the possibility to reduce CO2 emissions in Europe because TAP will make natural gas more competitive in the battle with coal. TAP, an idea born in Switzerland, has positive impacts for Europe as a community and for our national economies. I'm proud that we can start today the realization of TAP. Thank you very much.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, παρακαλούμε παραμείνετε στις θέσεις σας. Προσκαλούμε τον Πρωθυπουργό της Ελληνικής Δημοκρατίας, κύριο Αλέξη Τσίπρα, μαζί με τους συμμετέχοντες στην τελετή υπογραφής να περάσουν στο χώρο της εκδήλωσης. Για την έξοδο θα ανοίξει μόνο μία πόρτα της αίθουσας. Κυρίες και κύριοι, η τελετή υπογραφής θα προβληθεί ζωντανά από τις οθόνες της αίθουσας. Εν τω μεταξύ, θα παρακολουθήσουμε ένα σύντομο βίντεο.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. We invite the Prime Minister of the Hellenic Republic, Mr. Alexis Tsipras, along with the participants for the pipe signing ceremony, to move now to the ceremony venue. Only one door will be opened for the ceremony venue. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in the presentation hall. The ceremony will be broadcast live for you to watch. In the meantime, a short video will be played.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, παρακαλούμε να παραμείνετε στις θέσεις σας. Η τελετή υπογραφής θα προβληθεί ζωντανά από τις οθόνες της αίθουσας και θα ξεκινήσει πολύ σύντομα. Παρακαλούμε πολύ να καθίσετε για να την παρακολουθήσετε.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Please remain in the presentation hall. The ceremony will be broadcasted live for you to watch.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, παρακαλούμε να παραμείνετε στις θέσεις σας. Σε λίγο θα ξεκινήσει η τελετή υπογραφής, η οποία θα προβληθεί ζωντανά από τις οθόνες της αίθουσας. Παρακαλούμε πολύ να επιστρέψετε στην αίθουσα και να καθίσετε.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated or please return to your seats as a presentation will be broadcast live for you to watch.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very much. Finally, it has been a great honor to welcome you here today to mark this important moment in the history of Trans-Adriatic Pipeline. The ceremony has now come to an end, and I would like to invite you all to accompany me back to the hotel to join the remaining gala celebrations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Σας ευχαριστούμε για τη συμμετοχή σας στην τελετή εγγενείων για την έναρξη των εργασιών κατασκευής του αγωγού TAP. Θα ακολουθήσει δεξίωση.
Thank you for attending the TAP construction inauguration ceremony. Please join us for a reception in the foyer.